On the news tonight, President Tinubu assures of strengthening Nigeria's democratic principles and ideals. As Nigeria celebrates 26 years of uninterrupted democracy, Ogun State government says the country is making remarkable progress. And on special focus, correspondent examines the qualities of the man, NTA Abeokuta. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Channel 12 News, brought to you live on NTA 12 Abeokuta. We sincerely apologize for starting behind schedule. And my name is Idariasit Adedokun, and we wish everyone happy Democracy Day. Democracy is not a gift. It is a thrust Nigerians must protect. This is the affirmation from the leadership of the National Assembly at the June 12 Democracy Day special joint sitting earlier today. National Assembly correspondent Mitairo Ikpen reports that the presiding officers pledged unwavering cooperation with the Tinubu administration to advance Nigeria's democracy and improve the welfare of Nigerians. The Ogun State Governor, Dakpo Abiodun, says Nigeria is making remarkable progress in the evolution of electronic voting by leveraging on technology to ensure free, fair, and credible elections in the country. This was at a symposium to commemorate this year's June 12 Democracy Day celebration held at the popular June 12 Cultural Center, Abeokuta. Akim Jimo reports.
Members of pro-democracy groups, human rights activists, trade unions and professional associations from across Ogun State converged on the June 12 Cultural Center, Abeokuta, for a thought-provoking symposium where the leadership of the groups and other stakeholders underscored the importance of June 12, 1993 presidential election to the unity and progress of democratic ideals of Nigeria since 1999. Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun, represented by the Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Yedele, while acknowledging that the bedrock of good governance is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians, urged the people to contribute their quota to advance the cause of democratic principles in the country.
As we salute Chief NTA Abeokuta GCFR, the pride of Ogun State, and a matter of democracy, we also acknowledge the efforts of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, a fellow soldier in the trenches of the pro-democracy movement. President Tinubu now carries forward the ideals of that struggle through his renewed hope agenda.
In a lecture entitled Electoral Reforms and Democratic Consolidation, Enhancing Voters' Confidence Through Technology, a guest lecturer, Mutalubi Ojo Adebayo, SAN, believes that Nigeria is making remarkable progress in electronic voting since the introduction of technological devices in 2019.
If we are all determined to make up our mind and that we are poised to make the system work for the overall interest of the system, people and country, we can all rest assured that it will certainly work perfectly. And we have an electoral system and election that can compete with the best anywhere in the world.
The high point of the event was the presentation of prizes to pupils and students of public and private primary and secondary schools from across the state that excelled in a debating competition organized to commemorate the day. In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
And in related developments, as Nigeria celebrates the June 12 Democracy Day, the Muslim community, government, and people of Ogun State gathered at the family compound of the late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola for a special prayer for the repose of the soul of the martyr of democracy, NTA Abeokuta, and others. Lekon Agbodo reports that the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Noimot Salako Yedele, led a government delegation to the event.
Over the years, as part of events to commemorate June 12 Democracy Day, The people of Ogun State gather at the MKO Abiola family residence in Abeokuta for these early morning Islamic prayers in honor of the sacrificial contributions of the late business mogul and patriotic hero of democracy, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Ogun State government delegation, led by the Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Oyedele, joined members of the Abiola family and Muslim leaders to offer prayers for the repose of the soul of not only of the late MKO Abiola, but also of those who sacrificed their lives for the entrenchment of democratic governance in Nigeria. The Deputy Governor reflected on the huge sacrifice the late Abiola and others made for democracy, as well as the efforts of government at all levels to immortalize his memory.
Despite several challenges, we have all stood firm. And I think this is a fantastic legacy for our father. We want to thank Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his tireless support for the ideals of democracy, and also for the person and the family of Bashiru MKO Abiola.
The secretary to the Abiola family, Amin Abiola, was full of gratitude to the federal and state governments for giving due recognition to their father and the support the family has received so far.
The federal government has been able to confer GCFR upon our father. Yes, that is a great step in the right direction, and it is our hope that the federal government can permanently sign a bill saying that future generations would not abolish Democracy Day in recognition of our father. Why? Because some generation currently don't understand the value or the sacrifice of late Chief MKO Abiola.
He is optimistic of the capacity of President Bola Tinubu to take steps further in honoring the memory of their late father. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
And in the meantime, as Nigeria celebrates 26 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, the significance of the event of 32 years earlier communicated in the June 12 presidential elections, the annulment, and the man at the center of the story, MKO Abiola and other heroes, remains a phenomenon in the center of Nigeria's socio-political history. Lekon Agbonde has a brief on the man, MKO Abiola, and the June 12 story leading to the actual recognition and pronouncement of Democracy Day in Nigeria by the federal government.
The intriguing story of 32 years ago, the June 12, 1993 presidential election remained one of the most significant moments in the annal of Nigeria's history. From the election described as the most freest, peaceful, fairest, and credible to its annulment and the subsequent overwhelming events that followed, the man at the center of it was Moshood Abiola, a business mogul, philanthropist, fearless, courageous, and a patriot who won the election by landslide margin. The epic story of titanic struggles between the heroes and the valiant began with the annulment of the election, which compelled Abiola to stand his ground and demand for his mandate. He was subsequently incarcerated and eventually died in custody. The post-election period was a dark and challenging era, laced with betrayal, violence, agitations, and political struggles, which laid a solid foundation for the present era of political stability and democratic governance in Nigeria. After many years of agitation for the recognition of June 12 as Democracy Day and ensuring due recognition to the man, MKO.
God used, or fate used Abiola to be the factor of that democracy, enactment of real democracy. The first time Nigeria will have a free, fair, and credible election.
For the government to have deemed it fit to now declare June 12 as Democracy Day, I want to appreciate government for that. It's a good idea, and it was a good decision made by the government, because that date, June 12, 1993, can never be erased from the history of Nigeria.
The sacrifices of heroes and heroines, most of whom paid the supreme price, and the various actors ended in victory for democracy.
It's a period that nobody will want it to come again, because I was directly a victim of that period. I would have lost my life, I would have been dead by now. I am one of the victims, not only me. Every Nigerian, we were victims. You cannot separate anybody from not being a victim in this country.
The victims that could be termed heroes of democracy are many. Some of them are students, unknown, to me and you. I sacrificed a lot myself.
Although not many people in the struggles of those years live to tell the story, but those who managed to escape are recounting their stories with deep emotions.
I'm emotionally moved that there are a lot of people that fought for this democracy, but that are not here to witness what they fought for. May their soul rest in peace.
Those key players in the annulment, our God doesn't sleep. If you name them one by one, where are they today? Because the case of June 12 was a glaring fact that it was is the fairest and popular election.
26 years of democracy is a victory song for Nigeria, as the sacrifices of Moshood Abiola and many others are not in vain.
What Bola Ahmed Tinubu did, history will judge him positively because faith made him to survive the guns of the military then. So the people that work for the democracy we are enjoying now should be celebrated.
As stakeholders admonish Nigerians to continue to contribute towards nurturing, pruning, and watering Nigeria's democracy for future greatness and prosperity. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
And Channel 12 News continues after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Step into the world of Songhai Palette, the heartbeat of Nigeria's palette landscape, where creativity and precision unite from the very beginning. Every palette is a masterpiece, crafted with precision by our dedicated technicians at Songhai, where precision is not just a standard, but a way of life. Promising excellence that is 100% sourced and proudly produced right here in Nigeria. Choose Songhai products, where precision meets pride.
Proudly Nigerian.
Songhai Palette, where quality meets the spirit of craftsmanship.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. The prestigious Crescent University, Abeokuta, is set to commence a year-long program of activities for the mega celebration of academics and moral excellence, as well as impactful contributions to nation building to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Great Ivory Tower. Here are the details.
A statement by the 28th Anniversary Organizing Committee, list of activities have been scheduled to highlight the commitment of the proprietor of the university, Prince Maruf Adeshegun Ajibola, SAN, and the management team of the university in uplifting the status of the institution to the pinnacle of all-round excellence in Nigeria and beyond. Founded on June 9, 2005 by a renowned World Court judge, His Excellency George Bola Ajibola SAN, the institution has grown in leaps and bounds, producing a galaxy of stars in different fields of specialization like law, communication, accounting, computer science, life sciences, and many more, with many of our alumni excelling in different fields of endeavors across the globe. The proprietor, Prince Maruf Adeshegun Ajibola SAN, while appreciating the Almighty Allah for the height the Crescent University has attained as leading positive light amongst the private academic institutions in Nigeria and Africa, extols the sterling contributions of previous vice-chancellors and in particular the incumbent vice-chancellor, Professor Ibrahim Gbajabiamila, and his management team. He also lauded the Parents Forum, distinguished benefactors, all dedicated members of staff, local and international Muslims organizations, and other stakeholders who have contributed to the phenomenal progress of the institution. Similarly, the Vice-Chancellor of the Great Citadel, Professor Ibrahim Gbajabiamila, has reiterated the commitment of the management team to make the 28th anniversary a grand one. He stressed that a formal press conference will be called to outline the decades of achievements of the university.
And that report wraps up Channel 12 News. Thank you for watching. Good evening.
At Sonoplastics, customers' needs are our priority. We give you all the attention you need. With us, our customers are king. located at kilometer 40, Lagos Abeokuta Expressway, Ijoko, Ogun State. Sona Plastics Limited. We are just a phone call away. Contact us through 080-2783-5332. You can reach us through any of our lines and social media handles. Sona Plastics Limited. Come, let us treat you like a king.
Sona Maltings Limited presents glucose syrup. Glucose syrup extracted from locally sourced sorghum and corn into a liquefied sugar of natural origin. Sona Maltings glucose syrup is gluten-free and tastes yummy. That's why it is the most sought-after glucose syrup by commercial food production companies as a sweetener, thickener, and moisture-retaining agent. As it doesn't crystallize, it is used in production of candy, beer, fondant, and certain canned food, and pre-made baked goods like biscuit and cookies. Sona Maltings glucose syrup is made by Sona Maltings Limited. Sona Maltings glucose syrup, king in liquefied sugar.